Sunday Draftstars is here, you guys. We have two matchups. We got the Gold Coast Titans versus Manly to round out the week, and we have Canberra v St George, who's going to be the first game at 2 o'clock. So, in the outside backs, there's a few interesting ones. I feel like it's time for a Garrick masterclass here against the Titans. They've changed a few things up. They're not playing Sexton. They got Tanner Boyd at 7, with Brimson there at 6. So I think that Manly need to come out and get a win. I think they will, and Ruben could be that guy that gets back into that winning circle in terms of point scoring here at a 50 plus. So if we're just looking at that game solely, I still think Philip Sammy is a great option there. Just under 13k, and he's been scoring pretty well. I still think he will be able to do okay even in a team that isn't performing perfectly well. You also have someone like Jaden Campbell who can come out and get a 40 as well, whether he's some type of attacking stat or a bunch of tackle breaks. I think Jaden Campbell can still do that as well. So if you're wanting to do that, I think that's not a bad way to go. You got some cheaper guys now in Tuipulotu and Kola who haven't performed too well of recent time, but can both come out and do a great job, along with Jason Saab, who has a couple of big scores there, 62 each of 2 of the last 3 weeks. So all 3 of those guys are definitely ones you could select in that one. And if you're going for the other game, then I still think Xavier Savage is a solid one to pick up. He hasn't been averaging too well of recent time, but I think this is the week that he can do that against the Dragons, considering the Raiders need to come out and have a much better game. You see decent scores from Chris and also Tomoko of recent time, but I still think that it's probably the best way to go for Xavier in this one. Just for a little bit more boom or bust, I would say that Xavier has. He hasn't really done it too much this year, which shows that probably it won't continue, but I still think he's due for that big game, which he had the back end of last year, very late in the season. So he has it the week off, and I think that will help him and put him in good stead for a big one here. Halves and hookers, DCE is the big one if you're looking in that game there. And then someone like Tanner Boyd's an interesting one at 12k. So if you're looking for that game specific, I think you can get a 35 plus from Tanner at 12k, which will be put you in good stead for a decent week there. If you're looking at the top guns, you got Whiten and Foggs. I think Whiten could be your man. I'm feeling a try from him today. In this game there, you can go for Benny Hunt as well, who's been scoring solidly for the most part. At a couple of 40s and a 31 kind of puts a dampener on things. If you're paying 19k, you're looking for, if he is a little bit more inconsistent, hopefully a few higher scores in amongst some of those lower ones. So that's my thoughts on Benny Hunt. And if we're looking at other guys, that aren't too many that I would be looking to go for, apart from Tanner at that cheaper price. If we're looking towards that Canberra St George game, we've got Hudson Young and also Adam Elliott. So both guys have been scoring super well. Elliott is going to be the more consistent guy. Hudson a little bit more up and down. You can get close to that 80 if he scores a try and does well, but definitely has a few lower scores in him as well. Olakau'atu hasn't been amazing, but I'm feeling a try from him in this game. Again, a lot of feelings in this one today, but yeah, that's the way we're going to play it, right? In Draftstars a little bit, you go off the stats and then off matchups as well, and I feel like he can get a try on that right edge for Manly in this game. If we're looking lower, there's just a few solid scorers. I think Papali'i is probably the one in best form at the moment, and I still think he can come out and get a 50 plus score at 20k. But again, it's still fairly expensive, and you're paying through the nose a little bit for a couple of those guys. If we're looking lighter now, I think Davey's still the big one to select. He's been scoring super well, 46.9, his lowest in the last 3 at 13k is just way too cheap for him. Blake Laurie's price has really increased of recent times, so he's up at 15k, and I think that's getting a little bit too expensive, but still definitely a solid scorer if you're needing that in this one. If we're going down the line, there aren't too many other guys I'd be looking to select, to be honest with you. Michael Molo is the only real one at that cheaper price at 10k that I think can score pretty well. Given that he hasn't scored too well of late, he should be getting some more minutes through that middle there than he has been off the bench, and anywhere at the 35-minute plus, I think he'll be able to score well enough to get you a 30 plus score. But that is our video, guys. Hope you enjoy the Sunday games. Hit that sign up link in the description, and I hope you have a great day and play well on Draftstars. See you later, guys. Have a great weekend.